It was a stormy Friday night in the bustling city of Seattle, the kind where rain hammered down like 1,000 tiny fists on the rooftops, and the streets turned into slick mirrors reflecting the neon glow of bar signs. Mark Thompson, a single dad in his mid-30s with tired eyes and a heart full of quiet resolve, had just finished his shift at the upscale marketing firm where he worked as a graphic designer. He was rushing to pick up his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, from the babysitter, but fate had other plans. As he stepped out of the office building, he spotted his boss, Elena Vasquez, stumbling out of a nearby cocktail bar, her high heels wobbling like a ship in rough seas. She was the fierce, no-nonsense CEO who'd built the company from scratch, but tonight she was a mess, drunk, vulnerable, and about to walk straight into trouble. A group of rowdy guys at the bar's entrance were eyeing her like predators, catcalling and inching closer. Mark's instincts kicked in. He couldn't just walk away. Little did he know this one act of kindness would unravel secrets, spark forbidden desires, and change their lives forever. If this story hooks you right from the start, hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more heart-pounding tales of love, redemption, and unexpected twists. Your support keeps these stories coming. Mark had always been the reliable type, the guy who showed up early and left late, not for the glory but because Lily depended on him. His wife had passed away 3 years ago in a car accident, leaving him to navigate the choppy waters of parenthood alone. He juggled school runs, bedtime stories, and endless loads of laundry, all while keeping his job at Vasquez Creative. Elena, on the other hand, was a force of nature. A stunning woman in her early 40s with sharp features, long dark hair that cascaded like silk, and curves that turned heads in boardrooms. She was divorced, childless, and poured her soul into the company. But rumors swirled about her lonely nights and the occasional wild bender to drown the stress. That night, as the rain soaked through Mark's jacket, he approached her cautiously. "Ms. Vasquez, Elena, you okay?" She turned, her emerald eyes glassy from too many martinis, and slurred, "Thompson, what are you doing here?" Before he could answer, one of the guys from the bar grabbed her arm, leering. "Hey, sweetheart, need a ride home?" Mark stepped in, his voice firm but calm. "She's with me. Back off." A tense standoff ensued, but Mark's quiet authority and the threat of calling the cops made them scatter. Elena leaned against him, her body warm and soft despite the chill, murmuring thanks as he helped her into a cab. The ride to her upscale apartment was awkward, filled with her rambling about work pressures and a hint of something more personal, loneliness that mirrored his own. As he got her inside, she collapsed on the couch, her dress riding up just enough to reveal the lace of her stockings, sending an unintended spark through him. He tucked a blanket over her, left a glass of water and aspirin on the table, and slipped out, his mind racing with the intimacy of the moment. The next morning, Mark woke up to the sound of Lily giggling over cartoons in the living room. He made pancakes, trying to shake off the previous night's events. Would Elena remember? Would she fire him for seeing her like that? His phone buzzed. A text from her, "We need to talk. Come to my office early." His heart sank. At the office, the place was empty except for the hum of the coffee machine. Elena was there, looking polished in a fitted blazer and skirt that hugged her hips, her makeup flawless, but her eyes held a vulnerability he hadn't seen before. "Mark," she said, closing the door behind him, "about last night, I didn't pretend to forget. Thank you. You saved me from more than just those creeps." He shifted uncomfortably, but she stepped closer, her perfume, a mix of jasmine and spice, enveloping him. "Why did you do it? You could have walked away." He met her gaze. "Because no one deserves to be alone in trouble. And I've always admired you." The air thickened with unspoken tension. She touched his arm, her fingers lingering, sending a jolt through his body. Admired, or something more. It was a whisper, but it ignited a fire. In that moment, boundaries blurred. She leaned in, and their lips met in a kiss that was soft at first, then hungry, her hands pulling him closer as years of pent-up emotion poured out. From that day, their relationship evolved in secret, a whirlwind of stolen moments amid the chaos of work and life. Mark introduced Elena to Lily cautiously, framing her as Daddy's boss who's also a friend. Lily took to her immediately, charmed by Elena's stories of far-off travels and her ability to braid hair like a pro, but challenges loomed. Elena's ex-husband, a jealous lawyer named Victor, caught wind of the budding romance and threatened to drag her through court again, claiming she was unstable. At work, whispers started. Colleagues noticed the lingering looks, the late-night meetings that ran longer than necessary. Mark faced his own demons, guilt over moving on from his late wife, fear that Lily would get hurt if things fell apart. One evening, after a particularly grueling day, Elena showed up at Mark's modest apartment unannounced. She was tipsy again, not drunk, but enough to let her guard down. "I can't do this alone anymore," she confessed, her voice breaking. They talked for hours, her head on his shoulder, and as the conversation deepened, so did their connection. She kissed him again, this time with purpose, her hands exploring the muscles of his back under his shirt. The night turned passionate, their bodies entwining on the couch in a dance of need and tenderness. It was sexy raw, her nails grazing his skin, his lips tracing the curve of her neck, but underpinned by emotion, a release of loneliness that bound them tighter. Yet, the real test came when Victor escalated. He showed up at the office, demanding to see Elena, accusing Mark of being a gold digger preying on a vulnerable woman. The confrontation turned ugly. Victor shoved Mark and Elena stepped in, her voice like steel. "Get out, Victor. This is my life now." But the incident shook Mark that night. He confided in Elena about his fears. "What if I can't protect you both? Lily needs stability." Tears welled in her eyes. "Then let me help. I'm not just your boss anymore. I'm in this with you." Together, they hired a lawyer, gathered evidence of Victor's harassment, and filed a restraining order. The process was grueling, filled with late nights poring over documents. But it brought them closer. In one heated moment during a strategy session at her place, frustration boiled over into desire. She pushed him against the wall, her lips fierce on his, whispering, "I need you, Mark." Their lovemaking was intense, her body arching against his in the dim light, a blend of urgency and affection that left them breathless and reaffirmed. As months passed, the story took a turn toward resolution. Elena promoted Mark, not out of favoritism but genuine talent, and they went public with their relationship, facing the office gossip head-on. Lily blossomed under Elena's influence, even calling her Auntie Lena at first, then just Lena. The biggest challenge hit when Lily fell ill with a severe flu, landing in the hospital. Mark was a wreck, pacing the halls, but Elena was there every step, holding his hand, reading to Lily, and coordinating with doctors. In the quiet of the recovery room, Elena proposed, not with a ring, but with words, "Marry me, Mark. Let's build a family." He said yes, tears mixing with laughter. Their wedding was simple, intimate, with Lily as the flower girl, beaming. Years later, looking back, Mark realized that one rainy night had been the catalyst for a life of love and strength. Elena had taught him to embrace vulnerability, and he had shown her the joy of family. Their story wasn't perfect. There were arguments, work stresses, and the occasional sexy escape to rekindle the spark, like weekend getaways where they'd lose themselves in each other under starlit skies. But it was real, inspiring others at the company to open up about their struggles. The message was clear: kindness in someone's darkest hour can ignite a light that burns forever. Acts of courage, even small ones, ripple into profound change. So, if this tale moved you, smash that like button, subscribe for more uplifting stories, and remember, sometimes saving someone else saves you too. The rain had finally let up that fateful night, but the storm in Mark's life was just beginning. He replayed the scene in his mind as he drove home, Elena's laughter turning to sobs in the cab, her hand clutching his like a lifeline. At home, Lily was already asleep, her small form curled under blankets printed with unicorns. Mark kissed her forehead, whispering, "Daddy's got you always." Sleep evaded him, thoughts swirling around Elena's exposed thigh, the way her breath hitched when he helped her up the stairs. It was wrong to think that way, she was his boss, but the human connection lingered. Monday morning brought the confrontation. Elena's office was a sanctuary of glass and steel, overlooking the city. She wore a red blouse that accentuated her figure, unbuttoned just enough to reveal a hint of lace bra underneath. Mark swallowed hard as he sat down. "I appreciate what you did," she said, her voice steady, "but I need to know, did you see me as weak?" He shook his head. "No, as human. We all have off nights." Her smile was genuine, softening her features. Most men would have taken advantage. The word, advantage, hung in the air, charged. She stood, walking around the desk, her hips swaying subtly. "What if I want to thank you properly?" Before he could protest, she was in his lap, her lips on his neck, trailing kisses that set his skin on fire. It was a rush, her breasts pressing against him, his hands instinctively on her waist. They pulled back, breathless, agreeing to keep it professional. For now, their flirtation grew in subtle ways: a brush of hands in meetings, late emails with double meanings. Elena invited him to a client dinner, where under the table, her foot teased his leg, sending shivers up his spine. Back at her place, wine flowed, and inhibitions fell. She undressed slowly, revealing lingerie that hugged her curves perfectly. Black lace against olive skin. "Touch me," she whispered, guiding his hands. Their first time was electric, bodies moving in sync, her moans filling the room as he explored every inch of her. It was more than sex, it was healing, two broken souls finding solace. But Victor's shadow loomed. He sent anonymous emails to the board, accusing Elena of favoritism. Mark confronted him at a coffee shop, fists clenched. "Leave her alone." Victor sneered, "She's mine." The fight was verbal but intense. Elena, learning of it, pulled Mark into her office, locking the door. "You risked everything for me." Her gratitude turned passionate. She dropped to her knees, her mouth on him, a sexy act of appreciation that left him weak. They resolved to fight back together. Lily's illness was the crucible. In the hospital, Elena stayed overnight, her head on Mark's shoulder. "I love her like my own," she admitted. Mark's heart swelled. Post-recovery, they vacationed at a cabin, where evenings were filled with board games and nights with steamy encounters. Elena's body glistening in firelight, riding him with abandon, whispering promises of forever. Their wedding day dawned bright, Elena in white radiant, Mark in a suit, nervous but happy. Vows exchanged, they kissed deeply, the crowd cheering. Life settled into a rhythm: family dinners, work triumphs, and intimate moments where Elena's touch still ignited fireworks. The inspiring message: vulnerability breeds strength, love conquers fear. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more. Mark's life before Elena was a monochrome routine: wake up at 6 a.m., make Lily's lunch, peanut butter sandwiches cut into hearts, drop her at school, then dive into designs at work. He was good at his job, but invisible. Just another cog. Elena changed that. Her leadership was inspiring, but her personal life was a mystery. Colleagues gossiped about her failed marriage to Victor, a controlling man who'd stifled her dreams. That night in the rain, when Mark intervened, he saw the real her, scared but fierce. The kiss in her office was the spark. Her lips tasted of coffee and desire, her tongue exploring his mouth with urgency. She pulled away first, but the pull was too strong. Their first date was disguised as a work trip to Portland. In the hotel room, tension built. Elena showered, emerging in a towel, drops of water tracing her cleavage. "Join me," she teased. The shower was steamy, literally and figuratively. Hands soapy on bodies, her back against the tiles as he entered her, water cascading over them. It was erotic bonding. Back home, challenges mounted. Lily asked, "Why do you smile more, Daddy?" He introduced Elena gradually. Their first family outing was to the zoo, where Elena's laughter at the monkeys matched Lily's. But Victor struck. He filed for custody of assets from their divorce, claiming emotional distress. Elena broke down in Mark's arms. "He's trying to destroy me." Mark held her, his kisses turning comforting to arousing, lifting her onto the kitchen counter, her legs wrapping around him in a quick, passionate release. They countered with legal action, winning the case. Celebration was intimate: a bubble bath, champagne, Elena's breasts floating in foam, leading to slow, sensual lovemaking. Lily thrived, excelling in school with Elena's tutoring. The story's arc peaked when Elena announced pregnancy, a surprise at her age but joyous. Mark proposed on one knee, ring in hand. Their life became a testament to resilience. Sexy nights evolved into tender ones, but the spark remained. Message: embrace help, love transforms. Like in Sub, expanding on their journey, Mark recalled the first time Elena met his in-laws. Nervous, she dressed conservatively, but her allure shone. Dinner was awkward until she shared stories of her immigrant parents' struggles, mirroring theirs. Bonds formed. Intimately, Elena introduced toys, a vibrator that heightened their play, her gasps echoing as he used it on her. Work flourished. They launched a campaign on single parents, drawing from Mark's life. Success brought travel. In Paris, romance peaked, Eiffel Tower views, then hotel sex with French flair, role play, her as a mysterious stranger seducing him. Lily's teen years brought rebellion, but Elena's wisdom guided. A family crisis, Mark's health scare, a minor heart issue. Elena nursed him, their love deepening. In old age, they reflected on that rainy night. Grandkids around, story shared. Inspiring's one act changes everything, like sub.